So, you moved and you've had a lot of things going on in the last year, and it's kind of cool to see, so much growth and progress so far. What's some advice you give to somebody that's, how Christian was, or someone who's young and wants to start doing something, doesn't know what, doesn't even, maybe they're not even going to be sales or e-commerce, but they want to, or maybe they want to do podcasts, what is some advice you give for young people that are, we're still pretty young, but younger people.
The best advice I give to everyone, because I do have people come to me every now and then. They're like, "I want to start a business. I want to do that." I'm like, "You literally just have to try a whole bunch of different shit. You have to try everything that you can think of that you might want to do. Try it all, because you never know what you want. No, everybody says do what you love, but how the fuck are you gonna know what you love to do if you don't try a bunch of different stuff? Scientists or chemists, or they try one, blows up, and then they keep trying. And when something kind of works, they run off that. So that's how I look at it, and get it to the point to where it's almost completely automated. That's what I plan on doing with my business, is to kind of getting it to the point where I'm not going to completely step out of the business, but where I can take a step back and start something else. Because next, I think I'm going to start a digital marketing agency. So that's kind of yeah, I'm gonna start working on that. But it's the same concept. Outsource everything, build a team. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do exactly what I did for what I'm doing now for this next business. So, um, yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's basically all the same stuff. And if you want to make the most money, and personally, like, yeah, that's the way to do it. Is yeah, outsource and try to find a business maybe that's on retainer to where you get paid month after month after month.
Welcome to Learn or Be Learned. We either learn from others or others learn from us. The former is able to help us become a better, faster you. Follow me weekly as I dig up stories like a true anthropologist would on one of the three series called Guest Conversations, Book Applications, or My Small Talk Explorations. I'm your host, Shiva Danshaker, and let's talk. All right, welcome back, everybody, to another guest episode. Today, I'm here with Parker Stone. He was actually on my podcast last year on episode 7. He's one of the earlier guests, and he's back to, share his insights over the course of the last year and just, explain what he's been up to. So, Parker, for those of you who didn't get a chance to see the last episode Parker was on 7, I will say check that out for sure. But for those of you who don't know Parker, hey, Parker, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, Parker, 23 years old now. Yeah, last time Shiv and I talked about a year ago. Sell on Amazon. At the time, I was doing it myself, running my own business, teaching people. Now, we got a full stack team. We're running automated Amazon businesses for people now, so they can invest with us, and that's kind of what we're going to break down a little today and just have a little fun.
Yeah, how big is your team?
We probably have like 12 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did that happen?
Well, it's crazy. So last time we talked,
Hmm.
I was running my own business and stuff, and so my current business partner that I've been building this up with, I met him over Instagram. I thought I went to school with him, and I reached out to him. He was like, "I have no idea who you are, bro." Da 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 da. And we ended up talking a little bit. We hit it off. I saw he was doing Amazon too. That's why I initially hit him up, and yeah, we just hit it off. And then I was like, "Bro, we should start this business together." Da 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 da. I was trying to outsource certain tasks in my business. He was like, "I'll introduce you to this person, this person." So we ended up getting like a full stack team and had some people invest, and here we are. It's doing pretty well.
Was was that the guy you met at the conference, or was this a different
No,
guy?
I've actually funny story. Power of social media, man. I've never met my current business partner in person. We plan on linking up and doing some some videos and stuff together out in
Yeah.
Vegas or Miami or something. So still planning it
Oh,
out.
nice, nice. So, I was rewatching our podcast to kind of see where you were, and you were saying you did like your highest was like 18,000 in sales in like 10 days or whatever, and you were like it's super cool to see that, I've been doing it for a little while now, and you were saying you sold books initially on Amazon, and now
Yeah.
now what are those numbers like, man?
See, some of our stores are upwards towards, like, we've hit six figures on some client stores, my store. So very, or in a month. So it's pretty crazy, yeah, from where we were doing and now what we're able to do. We have a lot more manpower. We focus more on volume, just doing a lot of sales because everything's based off of percentage metrics in
Hmm.
Amazon. But every month varies depending on what time of year you're in, whether it's near a holiday season. So the month to month, the revenue varies. But yeah, we're anywhere from like 30, 60, 70K. It varies.
Hmm.
So it's pretty
And now
cool.
you
Yeah.
have clients, right? Because last time you didn't have
Yeah. Yeah.
clients. Hmm.
Now we got a good couple handfuls of stores we're managing right now. Plan on onboarding a few more this month, just getting some things worked out. Um, I don't want to scale too fast because I want to make sure my team is able to like keep up with everything, and I don't want it to get a
Hmm.
little, out of hand and unorganized. So we're just taking it
That's
slow
smart.
and steady, and yeah, as we
Hmm.
grow, we're going to be onboarding more people on the team and make sure that we can keep up with everything.
Right. So, how was the journey like, right? So it's almost like when you look up at the mountain of success and you're like, "Oh my god, I got to get there." Like, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
the ideal way is, take it one step at a time, and I'm sure that's what you did. But what was that one step at a time journey like from when we last spoke and you were just starting to get the hang of selling on Amazon and whatnot?
Yeah, you definitely start slow. You fuck up a lot, and then you just learn from that, and then so yeah, it's just kind of have a plan of action, kind of know what you want to do and where you want to take things. You don't need to know like the exact thing because you'll never know the full vision of something until you continue to work on it. So you
Mhm.
never know where things will take you. I didn't know that this is what I was going to be doing. All I knew was just wanted to sell shit online and have an online business, and that's been a dream of mine since I was a kid. I built a bunch of different online businesses. Not a lot of them worked. So got into Amazon, things started playing out, and I just kind of ran with it. So here we are.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, you definitely fuck up a lot, and that's the best way to learn. And sometimes you got to take 2 steps back to make the 5 steps forward kind of moves. So
Right. And we did talk about that last time is, failure is important. That's the only way you kind of grow is you realize what not to do and things like that. So I definitely agree with that. I actually wanted to ask you an interesting question, which I asked another friend last weekend. I asked him, and I want to ask you this as well. How do you deal with uncertainty? Because successful people, they get there and you see that, and, everyone kind of neglects the whole process of how long and hard and difficult it may be.
mhm.
So, how does someone who's going through what you're going through or in a similar circumstance is dealing with uncertainty? How do you deal with uncertainty?
Uncertainty. Yeah, you just gotta really take like sit back for a second, realize like things take time, and you just got to keep pushing and not really give up when things get hard. So rephrase the question on uncertainty. Like, what exactly are you asking, so I can kind of go
Right.
further into that.
So, okay, let's just use me as an
Like self
example,
like
right?
self doubt almost. Is that what
Yeah,
you're asking? Like self
self-doubt,
doubt.
you don't see the success yet, you don't see the progress, but you're working
Yeah,
towards the right way, but you don't see it, so it's kinda discouraging or, you just don't know if you should keep going with it.
yeah. So there gets a point where if you work on something for long enough, and you might just absolutely suck at whatever you're doing, and it's not going to work out. So you can't have shiny object syndrome. You have to stick with something for long enough. You can't. There's been so many times where I'll work on something, but not long enough, and I'll move on to something else because I'm like, I have that uncertainty. I'm like, "Ugh, maybe this isn't it. Maybe I should try something else." But then I look back on it, I'm like, shit, dude. If I would have worked on that maybe a year longer, I bet you I could have made something work out. But with the e-commerce stuff, you just have to have passion for whatever you're doing. You have to really love what you're doing and have a good reason as to why you're doing it. Because that'll outweigh the uncertainty every time if the passion for something. So it's not even about, obviously, like, everybody wants to choose a good industry where you'll make a lot of money, but at first you just got to really enjoy what you're doing and have fun with it. And that's what I really enjoyed doing, was like when I first started the Amazon stuff, I was going to fucking like bookstores and buying books for really cheap, just for fun on like the weekend or and just reselling stuff. So you just have to know a little bit about yourself and choose an industry based off of like who you are, and that'll help outweigh a lot of that uncertainty because you'll definitely have a lot of headaches and you're gonna fuck up a shitload. I mean, I have, and I'm nowhere near where I want to be, and I feel like I should be, but I'm definitely proud of myself for the time being of where I'm at because I was never the supercomputer guru kind of guy. Now I don't understand a lot of shit on the computer. I just stuck with it, and things started working out. So that's really it.
Hmm.
Just stick with it, and don't give up when things get hard because it's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, then you wouldn't feel good when you made a little success. So
Right. I really like that answer about, enjoying the journey, not the end
yeah,
destination. And you mentioned this basically kind of almost focus on self discovery first before you even focus on what you're trying to obtain to see if you really do want to do this because, the journey can be hard. That's why you got to find something where you do enjoy the journey of when it's hard and when you succeed, when you fail, you have to enjoy it all. And the friend that I asked this question with, he had a very interesting answer. He said, for successful people, there is no uncertainty, right? So it's almost like a matter of if, not when,
right.
right? So I think your answer is also super interesting. Uncertainty is almost like a reflection of yourself, of, you know, doubting yourself and whatnot. So I think that's also
Yeah.
really cool to hear your side.
Yeah, and that's one thing I can agree on is like I don't mean to sound like cocky or anything, but I've always known like I would be super successful. That was like I always knew. There's one thing that, like where you think about it and you're like that would be cool, and then it's another thing when you just know. You're like I'm not sure how it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. So you just
Right.
have to be confident and like have that self-confidence. I don't know if that was instilled by my parents or, whatever, but I've always been, yeah, that way where I just knew. I knew I would figure out something to where I wouldn't have to go the conventional route, didn't go to college, didn't do any of that. I think the longest job I held was like a W-2 employee was like 3 months. So other than that, I
Yeah.
was just always hustling, just
Right.
doing my thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, it's it's definitely, I'd say, the path to success is somewhat of a lonely road. There's not
Yeah,
a lot of people that get it. There's not a lot of people that are accommodating by it, right? When you say you're busy or you say you have
yeah,
things to do, they don't get it because after their 5 p.m., it's, free time. So everyone's always, asking you, why are you so busy and things like that. And you kind of have to let go of certain things to push that, ambition of yours to the next level. But
yeah,
I often saw myself the same way. I always kind of feel, and I think it's totally a mentality thing that differentiates people that make it is in their mind, they've already made it, you know?
yeah. Act, act like the person you want to become.
Hmm.
Be the person, and you're going to get a lot of hate from the people around you. And I think the hardest thing for me throughout this whole past couple of years is like with all the friends and stuff I had grown up with. Eventually, I realized they didn't really align with my vision. A
Hmm.
lot of them, so I kind of had to. That's why I moved. Moved away from my hometown and just got away from all that because I feel like the way people saw you growing up and the way they treated you and the way you acted, even though that might not be the person you want to be, it was just how you were then. They continue to want to treat you like that same way, and so you're almost put in this. Trying to think like this bubble of who these people think you should be and the way they treat you, the way they respect you and stuff. So if you leave, it is lonely. So yeah, you got to leave and like really figure out yourself. Cause I noticed like once I left and really didn't have any friends, it wasn't going out, wasn't doing any of that. I was just focused on this shit is when things really
Right.
started.
Right. And I truly do believe this saying of rising tides raise all boats. I think certain people don't really, want to see you succeed. And maybe it's not even like conscious, it's very unconscious of what they're doing because,
Yeah,
like you said, a lot of the people you grew up with, so they saw you from the same starting point.
yeah,
And when you start climbing the ladder or you start taking a different path and they start seeing a little bit of success, they get really envious or,
right.
not supportive. And, maybe, that's probably even possibly why you lost your Instagram account, right? Didn't that happen within the last year?
Yeah, yeah. I lost my Instagram account. I went through, yeah, I went through a good couple months of just constant pounding, just getting beat down, bro. And just like with my Instagram, because in the business I'm in, like your social media is it really
Yeah.
determines like the value of what you do and your service and like your credibility and stuff. So that was kind of a shame. But cool thing is, I'm very good. I'm very big on like building relationships I treat my clients very well. So it's all of our clients now is just it's just like word of mouth and stuff.
Hmm.
It's referrals and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that did happen. That sucked.
Right. For those that don't know the story, I don't want to share your thunder, so I'll let you share it.
For about
Uh,
Instagram,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It just yeah, just one day. I think what happened was I posted something about or what did I post? I didn't even do anything crazy. I just I think I
Post
uploaded a
like
story.
progress or something.
Well, yeah, I had a lot of results, a lot of clients, and a lot of connections and people I've met at events. It was just like a whole ecosystem of like what I did and the people I met was all on that account. And so I kind of had to like restart in a way once I got deactivated. But I think it got deactivated for something stupid. I think it was I had gotten a warning about it before, but I didn't really put it in consideration. I think it was because I posted a story with like before I posted it, I ran it through this software and I put my own music behind it because it wasn't
Okay.
it wasn't on the music that you can choose. And then right after I posted that, it was actually a kind of a meeting like this with one of my students that I had taught Christian, and
Oh yeah, Christian.
that was really cool. Right after I posted that, deactivated, shut down. So
Wow. That's kind of
sucks.
crazy though. That's like a little extreme.
Yeah,
They could have just taken down the post.
yeah, and now since then I've seen a lot of people's accounts get take like banned and stuff for like really really stupid reasons. I'm not sure what the whole ordeal is there, but like I said, at the end of the day, it's not a huge deal as long
Hmm.
as you're good at building relationships and you know, people, our business is mainly word of mouth and referrals now, so which is really cool.
Yeah.
Very blessed to be able to do that for sure.
So for those that are listening that are, potentially interested in selling on Amazon or, even being a client of yours, what are some advice that you would give? I know you gave some advice on the last time we spoke, but, another year of experience, you might be able to say something differently, maybe.
Yeah, right now, since the last time we talked, I don't I was teaching people. I had like a program people were going through. If I'm being honest, like it was a lot of people who wanted to get into the Amazon business and they wanted like quick money. They wanted like the quick check. And it's so far from like what the reality of it is. So what would happen is people would get involved and then they would give it like a couple weeks of trying to do it and they would give up, and then but then I had those few, like I had that 19-year-old kid. He taught him everything I knew to sell by himself and do everything himself, and he ended up started making like an extra 5,000-6,000 profit a month. It's not a crazy
Wow.
amount of money, but it's being 19 years old. Like that's he quit his job. He was able to quit his job, and that was the video that I was making that I posted and got banned. So
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it definitely works. Now I just focus on more of like our automated side of things. People that are serious and they really want to, it's an investment. I have a lot more free time on my hands. So it works for my lifestyle too,
Hmm.
because I was really spending a lot of time on Zoom calls with students and stuff. I'm not the type of person where I can just say, watch these videos and good luck. I would work one-on-one with everybody, and it was a lot of time, and I was trying to run my own business the same time, and it was just too much. So that's why I outsourced and then ended up becoming what it is now. So,
Yeah.
but
What was your thought process for picking employees? At least, like, let's say the first employee, was it let me automate whichever task takes me the longest? Is that kind of how you picked your employees, or?
yeah, so my first initial thought was like, I need to get someone on board that can do like my product research or my order fulfillment, because a lot of that's just it was just repetitive, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Those two things are that's like really what all I wanted. But then I ended up finding people that were able to do our bookkeeping. We got customer service, we got suspension appeal team and stuff too. Because I mean, if you know anything about Amazon, um, you know they're very strict, and so things um, do happen every now and then, but it's nothing major if you have a good team behind you. So yeah, things just kind of fell in place, and I was like, dude, we have a full stack team. They're running my business. I'm like hands off. Let's do this for other people. So
That's pretty awesome.
yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
So and it just happened. It wasn't really planned. It wasn't really. I'd seen people do the automation stuff in the past before I started doing it, but I never really understood how they did it. I kind of just like blew it off.
Have you seen any mindset shifts since you started from last year?
Yeah, I definitely, you know, it. I think it's funny when people say like to become, you know, super successful, you have to work your ass off, but hard work isn't everything. You have to like people don't understand that if the hardest workers in the world made the most money, then construction workers and waiters and you know those type of people
Right.
would be the richest people on the planet. It's more about like hard work is 25% of the battle. Obviously, you have to work hard to achieve anything, but it's about working smart and like putting systems together, and that's really it. It's working smart. Stop thinking in terms of like paycheck. A salary will make you a living, but you know, profit can make you a fortune. So you have to think in terms of that. Yeah, a lot of different mindset shifts. You know, I'm not perfect, so you know, I'm just like any average person out here. I'm just you know, put a few pieces of the puzzle together and things started working out. So sometimes people look at me and they're like, "This dude's he's smart as fuck." It's it's easy. You just have to like stick to it and like I said, try to build a system and build you know, put people together. You can't do everything on your own. You have to have a team.
Right.
You have to have
Right.
a team. I've heard so many people tell me like, why don't you just, you know, do everything your own? Why do you have a business partner? Why don't you just do this? Why do you do this task? I'm like, bro, you have to have a team. Like my business
Yeah.
partner is an absolute rock star. He understands things that would take me 5 years to understand when it comes down to I mean, everything because credit and stuff is it's a fun cherry on the top of our business. You know, he's a rock star in that area. He actually just flew to Greece first class Emirates with him and his wife, you know,
Oh yeah, you
free,
told me about that. Yeah.
free. And he teaches me a bunch of stuff about that. So it's like, nah, you need a team. You need good people around you to really build something great. You can't do everything on your own.
Right. It's about leveraging your time, I would say, when it comes to
Yeah.
having a team.
Yeah.
You
And
can
I'm not
do
even going to
more.
say like I work a shitload. Like I've built it up to the point where I just oversee a lot of stuff. I chat with my team, I chat with clients and stuff, and I send out invoices and stuff like that at the end of every month to everyone. And I plan on even outsourcing that. I'm going to have like a virtual assistant, like or just someone that I know, just pay them a little bit, and then they keep in contact with all my clients and sending out invoices and stuff. So my best recommendation, if you can, in any business, is outsource everything everything. It doesn't have to even be people in the US. Like you can do this stuff in like other countries. It's basic economics, you know, in Venezuela, in the Philippines, in Pakistan, or what is it? All kinds of stuff, you know, Australia. So like that's how business works, man. In almost any industry, like when you call Apple customer service, you think you're talking Apple? No, they hired a company in the Philippines to talk with you on the phone. So
Right. I will say Apple's customer service is like top notch. So they might be doing something different, but I do get what you're totally saying. A lot of companies just outsource it to different countries and automate it, especially bots and stuff too, which is so frustrating.
Yeah, yeah, that's one. Yeah, yeah, that's I can't stand that either, bro. Let me talk about
So, is there any good books you've read lately?
it. Atomic Habits. It's a good
That's
one.
a good one. That's what it
Atomic
reminded me when
Habits.
you talked about systems. It was
Yeah,
that book. Yeah.
Atomic Habits is good. The 48 Laws of Power. That one is it's a good one. If any of you
Hmm.
guys I think that book's banned in prisons. Actually,
Really?
yeah, that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true, but
Hmm.
I can see why it is. That book can put you in a certain position. So I understand why you
Yeah.
might not want to read.
Yeah. So, you moved and you've had a lot of things going on in the last year, and it's kind of cool to see, so much growth and progress so far. What's some advice you give to somebody that's, how Christian was, or someone who's young and wants to start doing something, doesn't know what, doesn't even, maybe they're not even going to be sales or e-commerce, but they want to, or maybe they want to do podcasts, what is some advice you give for young people that are, we're still pretty young, but younger people?
The best advice I give to everyone, because I do have people come to me every now and then. They're like, "I want to start a business. I want to do that." I'm like, you literally just have to try a whole bunch of different shit. You have to try everything that you can think of that you might want to do. Try it all, because you never know what you know. Everybody says do what you love, but how the fuck are you gonna know what you love to do if you don't try a bunch of different stuff? Scientists or chemists, or they try one, blows up, and then they keep trying. And when something kind of works, they run off that. So that's how I look at it, and get it to the point to where it's almost completely automated. That's what I plan on doing with my business, is to kind of getting it to the point where I'm not going to completely step out of the business, but where I can take a step back and start something else. Because next, I think I'm going to start a digital marketing agency. So that's kind of yeah, I'm gonna start working on that. But it's the same concept. Outsource everything, build a team. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do exactly what I did for what I'm doing now for this next business. So, um, yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's basically all the same stuff. And if you want to make the most money, and personally, like, yeah, that's the way to do it. Is, yeah, outsource and try to find a business maybe that's on retainer to where you get paid month after month after month. Um, See, we have that in our business. It's not where I'd like it to be, but it's the same stuff. So that's the best businesses that I could recommend people get in, especially young, is looking to something that you can get paid month after month after month on a retainer, outsource work and stuff. So
Right. It's just so cool to see the growth in like where we've come in a year. Not to act like, oh, look at us, but it's just seeing growth itself is super cool. Just a
yeah,
year ago, you couldn't even imagine what you're doing right now. And a year ago, I barely knew what I was doing when it came to like anything audio related or podcast related, all that stuff. So it's just and you were telling me actually earlier today, you were like, yeah, some girl that you don't even know, she messaged me and she saw our last
yeah,
episode
yeah,
and then
yeah.
she hit me up and that was so cool.
Yeah, I guess she's like my stepmom's nail tech or whatever, and
Oh, really?
so yeah, and so she had messaged me through. She commented on, or she DM'd me through your last podcast that we did, and it was just funny. It was like the intro video that you had posted,
Uh-huh.
um, and she was asking about Amazon and stuff, and stuff. So we jumped on a quick call, and I gave her the rundown about everything. And I told her she shouldn't do Amazon, because there's some people where I'm just straight up with some people, like, if based on what you tell me and I don't think it's good for you, I'm gonna tell you, like, you
Right.
probably shouldn't try to do this. It's yeah, Amazon, and running your own Amazon business takes a lot of fucking time and work, and it's constant, repetitive shit. All, like, you really have to be attentive to everything, your customers. So that's why, yeah, I like to focus more on our automated side of things now. And I told her that. So who knows? Maybe she'll become a client someday. But
That's good though because, I think it's I was talking to a friend about this and it's like a lot of corporate cultures like this, right? Like they don't treat you like a human. They don't treat you like a person. And I think what's really nice is like I think we're slowly shifting that culture where even for you example, right? You told her honestly, you were like, I don't think this is right for you. And yeah, you probably could make a quick buck and it waste her time, maybe waste your time, but you were just honest. You were like, well, I don't recommend it. You can still do it. And I think that honesty is what we need to see more of with people and people that are truly loving what they do.
Yeah, yeah. That's number one thing. Is you need transparency for sure.
Hmm. And we talked
And
about that with the medical industry, right? A little bit.
yeah,
Yeah, we were saying the whole sometimes the whole medical industry is getting paid to sell you prescriptions and other things, and it almost kind of feels like it's just like a
yeah. You're
cycle of just
basically
pay.
saying like, yeah, keeping people healthy is not necessarily in their best financial interest. So
Yeah, right. I
that's
mean, it's a business at the end of the day.
everything is.
Hmm.
Everything is.
I'd like to see that culture change, though, what business really means, because I think we see a lot of like the earth getting like destroyed and stuff, and I think it's really going to have to be our generation and the generations after us to really fix this problem because we're going to be around to see the consequences of the previous generations and how they cut corners to make a few extra dollars, which is just kind of crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, things are getting a little crazy, man.
Hmm.
They're getting a little crazy, especially in terms of like technology and going to Mars. It's like,
Yeah. Wow,
yeah,
that's crazy. Imagine like listening to this years down the road and it's already been done.
I might be on Mars.
You might be on Mars.
Out on Mars.
You're gonna start your first e-commerce on Mars.
Yeah, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
We'll run the Amazon stores from.
You get like 1 year shipping from Mars to Earth. That'd be kind of crazy. But
Instead of yeah, yeah, it's getting crazy, bro. What I think is really crazy and what I've heard in the air, if we're kind of going down this route, is how eventually, I feel like we're gonna be able to have the maybe like chips in our almost like a consciousness chip, and then
right, like the
when you
Neuralink.
something, but when you die, you can plug that into
Oh
a,
gosh.
a separate skin, I
Oh my
guess is what they
god.
would call it. Which
Yeah.
is it's very interesting. It's kind of it's a wild thing to think about, but I always think in terms of like imagine if people like Elon or Jeff Bezos or these great minds of the world were able to live an extra 100 years.
Hmm. Right. Well, what my concern is if it's infinite, when do you stop them?
That's true.
And it's
Yeah,
like,
it's a trip, bro. It's yeah,
yeah,
but I feel like just on the trajectory of everything, like that's we're definitely headed down that route.
we
Or
really
that's
are, and it kind of freaks me out. Yeah, I think it's cool, but I also think it just freaks me out because it's like, I don't know, you're definitely going to see a trickle down effect, right? Like rich
mhm,
people are going to get it first, and that's going to pressure people in the middle class to get it. And because,
mhm,
people are getting smarter, faster, stronger from
mhm.
having these chips in their brain that fix their, neural connections and stuff like that and gives them, Elon was saying like Neuralink fixes your eyesight. I wear glasses. I've worn glasses almost my whole life. And
Yeah,
like
yeah,
instantly,
same, yeah, yeah.
that's kind of crazy.
That is very wild.
Yeah, and fix like Alzheimer's and stuff. Like we don't even know where memories are stored in our body, let alone our brain. And the Neuralink somehow just fixes that problem of almost, losing your memories.
Yeah, it's extremely crazy. It's almost like a Black Mirror
It
episode.
really is. Yeah. Yeah. But and
Damn.
it's going to trickle down is what I'm afraid of, right? Like cuz I think a lot of people say they don't want this to become of society, but
Hmm.
if you're going to feel the pressure from above, right? Cuz everyone's always striving to the next level, right? So let's say
Hmm.
you're in middle class, you're always striving for the nice supercar, or you're in, upper middle class and you're striving for the really nice house. So it's like we're all
Hmm.
pushing for the level above. So I really think there's going to be like this trickle down effect as the rich people get it first and you see a lot of advantages they have over other people. People are going to feel pressured to, match their level,
Yeah,
and it's just and then the difference between rich and poor is going to expand like crazy.
and then all this crypto stuff going on too. It's crazy. NFTs and all that. I don't know. Are you into NFTs at all yet?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's talk about NFTs. I totally. forgot because you weren't doing
That's a good thing.
NFTs last year. You kind of just started, yeah,
Yeah.
this year or 2021 and whatnot. And yeah, I actually do. I do have a couple NFTs. I got this thing called Mempo. They're like knights, and it's like a video game, and they got some big people on there and whatnot. But dude, it was super unfortunate. There was a lot of hype. There was like hundreds of thousands of people on the Discord, and the deployment team or whatever messed up the launch. Nobody could mint, and it lost all its hype. And
Yeah.
I mean, they still got a roadmap. They're still building the video game and stuff. So I'm holding. I got
Mhm.
hope for them. But yeah, NFTs is a hit or miss on a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's a tough game. You just got to bet on, like, instead of investing into the project, you got to look at the people behind it. You got to invest into the people that, like, the team. So a lot of teams, like, they're undoxed. You don't know who the fuck they are. So there's a lot of sketchy business going on in the NFT space. But if you kind of know what to look for, you can actually make some pretty good money, and good investments, long term. But I do think, yeah, there eventually all NFTs are probably going to end up going to zero, and there's going to be those few that kind of stay on top.
Right.
Kind of like with the .com boom. It's like Facebook, MySpace, all these things, all these few things that really took off. But
Right. Even
yeah,
those aren't
everything else.
guarantees because like MySpace, dropped off Earth, and Facebook gets heat
Right.
all the
Yeah.
time. So people aren't really trusting of Facebook either. So it's kind of crazy.
So I think, yeah, I think with NFTs right now, it's one of those things where you need to learn about it, like learn as much as you can about it, get involved, start playing around with the shit, and then make some money while you can. Make it's never been easier for a 15-year-old kid to make 15K a month, on just trading NFTs and being active in Discord servers and stuff.
You
So
think it's too late?
it's a real no, absolutely not. I think we're just getting started. Still, it's not mainstream. I ask a lot of people if they know what an NFT is, and they're like, no fucking
I
idea.
guess we should explain that for those listening.
Yeah, it's a non fungible token.
Hmm.
It's basically um,
Digital asset.
it's a digital asset, something that can't be replicated. It's yours. Um, you have it's yours locked into the blockchain. So you can't recreate it. And people ask, where's the value? The value is not necessarily in like, why would I pay for this picture? Why would I pay 6 grand, 7 grand for this picture? And it's like, it's not about that. It's what you get when you hold it. It's the access that you get when you hold these things. Whether it's, eventually they're going to, like, there's projects that they're opening up restaurants, clubs. They do like events and stuff that only the holders get access to, like real life stuff, and metaverse stuff. So there's a lot of different. It has to just have some gnarly
Yeah,
utility to like hold on to it.
definitely.
Other than that, if it's not something that I personally am like, I'm definitely gonna utilize that. I'm definitely gonna be a part of this. I'm gonna go to these events. I want to meet these people. I sell it. I buy and you flip it.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so. But I've been slacking on NFTs for a while. Because it does take a lot to get like whitelisted for projects. It takes a little bit of time to really do that, and you got to be like consistently
Hmm.
active in discords. And
I got whitelisted for VFriends too, if you've heard of it.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Gary V had an NFT like over a year ago called VFriends One, and I was actually considering getting it. I just, was in college at the time, didn't have a grand and a grand plus to drop on that NFT. So I was like, okay, whatever, let's just move on. And I've been keeping up with his projects and whatnot, and dude, the cheapest, the floor price for his VFriends One is like 30K or 40K or something, and it's just
Yeah,
insane. And
it's
he put so many utilities into that, and it's a lot. Like some of them is like you can have a 60-minute podcast episode with Gary once a year for 3 years, and those are selling for
right,
like
right.
144K because
Yeah.
it's Gary, right? Like he's pretty big, so having access to someone like that is worth it to a
Hmm.
lot of people that can afford it. But
And that's basically what it is. And it's definitely going to change over time. Like, it's all of your, like, the Super Bowl tickets. Something like a crazy Super it'll be an NFT, and then that's something you'll have in your wallet. It's going to be almost like social media now, like Instagram. It's like people make connections based off of other people's pictures and posts, and they make or yeah, commonalities with people through social media. It's the same thing. Like you're going to be everybody's wallet is basically public, and you can go into people's wallets and like check out what they have, and so it's going to be weird. It's very interesting.
I think it's
My
gonna make
parents
it
are
more
starting to,
toxic, honestly, because
yeah, it could
you know how
definitely.
like people like to wear like Gucci belts and stuff like that to like show off what they
Yeah,
got, and but like this is like all next level because well, how Gary said is like he argues his argument was, you know, you buy nice things and put in your house and arguably no one sees it versus on the blockchain anybody can see anything you got. So it's almost like it's like a whole nother level of flexing on people and I think it could go that way. Who knows?
right.
But it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. Yeah, if any of you guys haven't gotten into the space or have no idea what it is, just check it out. It's definitely worth
Hmm.
learning a little bit about, considering the direction the world's going in. But
What's the goal? Are you
yeah,
eventually going to get a board ape?
yeah, let's hope so. I'd love to get one.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
But those are like
Um,
what right now? Like 200, 300K?
yeah, upwards quarter million to 300,
Right. And
400K.
those are worth it, right? Because I mean, they got a lot of hype, and I think it's because of the
Yeah,
exclusivity.
you, yeah. So it's like it's a very exclusive club. Basically, you're a part of, and there's just a bunch of shit. Like you literally get invited to like yachts and stuff to go party on with
Right. Like I
the
think like Steph Curry has one, and like all these like famous people have board apes. And
all, yeah,
dude, I honestly I think it's a no brainer in my, at least for right now. Like I don't know how it's gonna end out, you know, but like right now, like if
yeah, it's
you
like Ferrari or
right or
Bored Ape.
like access to like really successful smart people, you know, people best in their
Yeah, yeah.
fields. It's a
It's the network,
yeah,
bro.
you're paying for
It's the
networking.
people you meet. Yeah, yeah. It's all it is, and that's why I would buy one. I don't even give a shit about like the picture and all that stuff. It's like, well, that's why you should buy anything. Personally, it's like that's why I don't know. A lot of people don't realize. Well, people are like, don't buy a super nice car when you're young, or don't um, you know buy these certain things. Obviously, don't be a dumbass and spend all your money. But like, there's like, if you're gonna get a nice car, like that's gonna start that's a good conversation starter, depending on what business you're in or what you do, and there's like anything, your appearance, the way you come off to other people, it means everything because people you're always judged. No, I don't give a fuck who you are. Everybody judges. It's based off your appearance, the way you look, and what you drive, and just everything. So everything in life matters in that aspect, in my eyes, at least. So
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a little unfortunate it's that way, but it's almost like you got
the
to
way
play
it
the
works,
game, right?
it's yeah, it's the way it works,
Hmm.
man, and yeah, can't change it.
Right. I mean,
So and
imagine
like
driving a
attention,
nice car through LA to get a client versus your, you know, Toyota Camry. I mean, like, no offense to Toyotas, they're nice cars, but it
yeah,
sends a different
it's
message.
common sense. It's fucking common sense, bro. And a lot of people, they don't either they don't want either they don't understand it. So the easiest thing is just to be like, that's bullshit, or yeah, I think that's really it. They just don't understand it, and it all depends what you're doing too. Like in my business, for instance, me driving a really nice car would definitely bring me more business, and that's how it works. I've talked to tons of millionaires that they say that exact thing. Like they got like four Ferraris or whatever, Rolls Royce, and they're like, "You think I bought all these cars just for like just to keep to myself?" No, it's marketing.
Hmm. It is.
It's fucking marketing,
It is.
and the conversations you have, the people you're around, it all matters.
Right.
So
It's like,
yeah.
you know, driving through something and you're in a Rolls Royce and you get out of the car and some other wealthy guys like starts talking to you because he's like, oh yeah, this is a great car. And like it's a conversation piece
Mhm.
too, at the very least, you know, and like it's definitely marketing. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, but again, it depends what business you're in. If you're, you know, I don't know, working at Target, like that's really not gonna matter. But if you're running your own business where marketing and stuff is a big part of like the success in your business, fucking, and I feel like your environment is everything too. Have nice shit around you. It's like get in the zone, become the person you want to be, and you'll attract the things that will get you to where you want to be.
Yes, yes, yes. I totally agree with like visualization and stuff like that. I totally,
Mhm.
because it's almost like
Yeah,
we talked about at the beginning about, it's in your mind, you kind of already made it. And that's totally part of it is like you visualize, how to get there and that. And honestly, I think sometimes the material things can, for better, for worse, change your perspective and make you feel like that too. You
yeah,
you
yeah,
definitely gotta be
yeah,
careful because, like you said, there could be shiny object syndrome where you just head to the next thing and keep going, but it's all
yeah,
strategic. You
yeah.
gotta, buy something that you can afford and stuff.
Just know what, yeah, know what the fuck you're doing. Don't be a dumbass and spend all your money on something. But yeah, like any like very very successful people that you talk to, like penny pinching, and like I hear like I have some friends that are just like trying to save every dollar they can. I'm like, bro, saving like that is not going to get you to where you want to be. You know, you don't get rich saving money and like penny pinching on everything. That's a poor person mindset to be in for one. Like you're worried about, you know, you'd rather buy the great value brand because it's $3 cheaper at Walmart than like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. It
It's
it definitely is, and, people might be kind of upset to hear that because it could be attacking them, right? But we all started like that, me and you read Rich
yeah,
Dad
and
Poor Dad, and we saw it.
yeah, it's instilled to you by your parents, and I definitely grew up like that, couponing and shit with my family and stuff like that. Even though my parents, they did okay. They weren't like dirt poor or anything, but it was still in that mindset of like penny pinching and shit like that. So I feel like a lot of people are going to be able to relate to that too. But just from what I've and all the people that I've talked to, they're just like, yeah, that's not the way to do it, bro.
I've noticed a lot of
I'm a
rich people have been often, you know, people that are good, that are rich, often donate. And it's almost like
yeah,
a flip of the script, right? Like a lot of people that are like,
yeah,
oh, if you want to get wealthy, you need to be super frugal. Of course, be frugal to an extent where it's like, are you going past your budgets and whatnot? But, to be like, oh, let me save the extra dollar and drive 15 minutes the other way to get coffee because it's barely cheaper is not how rich people look at convenience, right? They'll pay the extra
yeah,
a little bit for convenience of
time,
time because time
yeah,
is,
yeah,
invaluable. You can't put a price on time, right? So, and rich people know how to spend it, on themselves, with their family and friends, and on their business. And they often donate a lot, which I thought was interesting because if you think about it, it really switches your mindset to thinking of abundance. Like, I have a lot of money, here you go.
yeah,
And being
yeah,
frugal to the point where you're
yeah,
like penny pinching kind of sets you in like,
yeah.
hold every dollar you got. That might be your last, is like kind of what it sets in your
Well,
mind.
in that mindset, like I was saying earlier, whatever you think about and the way you perceive things is what you're going to attract into your life. Your mind is a receiver. So if you're always penny pinching and being like, "Oh, I can't afford this," or "I don't have enough money," like I tell myself on the daily, like I'm fucking, I'm balling, bro. Money's coming in, baby. And it's like when I really started doing that is when I actually started making money. And what's funny is the more money you start making, the more people want to give you their money too. So it's all a mindset. And definitely, I'm very big on like visualizing and meditating. I don't do it every day. I try to do it as much as I can, but just try to take like 10 minutes out of your day, meditate and visualize, and don't just like be like, I want a Lamborghini,
hmm
and like think about the Lamborghini. Think about you driving it. How does it feel? What does it smell like? What's the stitching color in the leather? And just like the little tiny tiny details of things, and visualize yourself in that position, and then you'll start to attract abundant, or just attract everything that you're wanting into your life, and the people and the things. And so that shit's so real. That's like, it's so real. I know a lot of people think it's fugazi, um, but that shit's real. It's real.
I 100% agree, dude. So when I went to college in Atlanta, and the main reason I chose Atlanta was, one, it was a good school for medicine and whatnot when I was doing medicine, but two, in Atlanta, the CDC is there, and I always wanted to do something, work at the CDC. So since my freshman year, I obviously didn't tell a lot of people, but I did visualize it. I didn't know how I was going to get there at all, but I knew I would get there somehow. And believe it or not, 2.5 years later, I I meet some random friends, and we're all just talking, and we're playing games and whatnot. And one girl asked me, what do you plan on doing after becoming a doctor? And when I was like, I'd be super interested in Doctors Without Borders. And she freaks out. She's like, my dad's literally the recruiter. Like, he recruits people into that program. So you should talk to him. I talked to
Mm,
him, and he sends I meet another lady there, and she's like a director at the CDC. And then I start talking to her, and she
dang,
gives me this opportunity to work at the CDC. And that was just like, was never gonna I never expected that, right? And it was from an ordinary college
great.
student that I talked to, is how it kind of got there. And
That's great.
yeah, it is crazy. Unfortunately, I didn't, for those of you wondering, I didn't end up working at the CDC because the pandemic hit the week before I was supposed to
Yeah,
start. So, obviously, being the CDC, they were in like a global crisis when the COVID hit. So they said they had to unfortunately let me go. But I still took that as a positive because I was like, wow, I could do anything I set my mind to. And I don't think it's gimmicky. I think people think it's gimmicky. I think it works.
yeah, it does. But the thing is, bro, some people just don't believe in themselves a lot of the time. They're
Mm,
just like you have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you can do it, and not just like say like I can do this, but like truly believe that you can do whatever you're doing. Have no self doubt, and it's just
yeah.
yeah, like I said, try a whole bunch of different shit and
Yeah, it's not easy,
visualize.
but it's almost like choose your hard, right? Like, would you rather live a comfortable life of regret, or a life of struggle and triumph?
Fuck yeah, yeah, regret, bro. Hell no. Your deathbed, like fuck.
Well,
Could have done so many things.
is there anything else you wanted to wrap up this talk with? Maybe like where people can get more information about you and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. You can follow me at my new account. It's pretty new at Step Like Stone on Instagram. And then, yeah, if you guys are interested in maybe, or just want to know a little bit more about what we do over here and the Amazon side of things, like just shoot me a message. I'd be more than happy to break everything down for you. I give you any information you need.
Hmm.
Um, and maybe some of you guys will get a store to
Yeah,
get
and
you
I'll
running.
have that information in the podcast description, guys, so you can, click on the link and check it out. Do you have a website?
Yeah, it's supremeautomation.co.
Okay, I'll totally check that out and put that there too.
Yeah, and if you guys want, you can. There's a place where you can, or a couple qualifying questions, just so you just go through those, answer a few questions, and then if you qualify for a store, everything checks out. You can set up a call with my partner and I, and we'll get you on a Zoom and run you through everything and show the ropes.
Hmm. Oh, actually, since you've been on this podcast last, I've been trying to ask this question a lot as a closer. So the show is called
Mm-hmm.
Learn or Be Learned, right? So what
Mm-hmm.
is one, I know there's definitely many, but what is one important thing that either you learn from others or you want other people to learn from you?
Something I've learned from others is, yeah, definitely just be appreciative, be grateful for what you have, but never be satisfied.
Mm,
You know, be grateful for what you have, be appreciative, and make sure to show your thanks for to the Most High.
hmm.
And try to stay humble, not too humble,
Yeah.
but yeah, show your appreciation and but never be satisfied. Always strive for more.
Hmm. Content but never satisfied. I
Yeah,
like it. Well, Parker, I appreciate you being on this episode again, man. On this podcast and
much
whatnot.
love, dude. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, I'm
It's
looking
been fun.
forward to the future conversations, and good luck on your business.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Chili, you're the man. Take care.